Great to see you guys. Thank you for joining and welcome to the stream. Happy Friday.
What's up? How's it going?
Hey, welcome. Yeah, I think we are here to talk about Starknet, Starktember, which is pretty
Starktember.
exciting. Starktember.
Yeah.
First of all, how are you guys doing? Was it a good week, bad week? How are we feeling? Yeah.
Yeah, a Friday night over here in Europe. So this is how we spend our Friday nights on the
True
roll-up.
warrior. I know the feeling. I know the feeling. Maybe we could just do a quick intro, guys. It's your first time on the show. I've seen some of your content, Victor, on Twitter and in Telegram as well. And just we'd love to get a quick intro about yourselves, what you guys do at StarkWare, and then yeah, we can get right into it.
Yep. So yeah, I'm Victor, ecosystem team at StarkWare. I've been at StarkWare for about almost 2 years now, and before I was just in a lab called Kazoo Labs in the Starknet ecosystem, and then before that I was doing volunteering at ETC. So that's actually how I got into the whole crypto space, was just volunteering at ETC. And then yeah, first ecosystem I was truly in was the Starknet one, and I'm still in the Starknet ecosystem, and I'm loving it.
Awesome.
Very cool. I saw Ellie had a pretty funny tweet today, congratulating Extended on 50 million in TVL. He said hyperliquid.
Did he really? At the bottom?
We're almost there. We're on our way. And so maybe you guys have had some interactions there. Overall, like there is a lot of growth, all kidding aside. So what is Starktember, and how do you anticipate this will continue to fuel the growth that you've seen in the ecosystem so far? Very cool. And is there incentives at play? Like, what are some of the projects that are involved? And generally, like, can you share a little bit more details about just how people can get involved and what they can expect from some of the incentives in Starktember?
Absolutely. I mean, there's incentives across the whole initiative. So on one hand, let's start with builders, we have two options. We have like an on-site hackathon or sprint in India, and then we have the online sprint where people are just encouraged to build apps and ship them to mainnet. And then we have on the user side, we have various incentives across the different apps like gaming, DeFi, where either yield is boosted or you can win something if you're part of a guild and that guild wins. It's very versatile. We have I don't even know off the top of my head, Victor, maybe you know more about like numbers of prizes and such, but it depends completely on the app, and it's welcome for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so we put around 1 million STRK like as a budget, and the goal was to give back to the community. And so we focused on 3 campaigns. We focused on what Marika just said, on the builders, like the hackathons. We have a builder house in Pune in India. Then we have like an online hackathon. So that's number 1 of the Starktember campaign. Number 2 is the most exciting aspect of the campaign, which is everything that is user focused. So we have a bunch of like ecosystem applications ranging from DeFi to gaming, and basically we work with them to create competitions such as like we have apps from like Troves, which is a yield aggregator, but we also have like games such as Art Piece and also Loot Survivor. But basically we work on contests and people can earn rewards by participating in those contests. So that's second part of Starktember. And then the third part is the the meme part / content part / people can earn rewards, like earn Stark token by creating memes, by participating in the bounties. So the overarching motivation is to give back to the community and to kick off. It's not back to school; it's back to the trenches, like kick off the year or like the school year. Because we also have more exciting stuff coming up after Starktember, but we can also talk about that later. But yeah, that's the overarching view of what this campaign is.
Nice, very nice. I'm curious how you guys are reacting to the overall result of Extended's launch so far on the perp side of things. Like, if I go on perpetualpulse.xyz, which is a great website, it kind of shows you the different volumes of perps exchanges. It shows you their OI, it shows you their revenues, and it's just kind of like a Notion board that somebody created. And Extended has been on there quite a bit. So it looks like in the last 24 hours, $153 million of volume, which is top, I guess, probably like top 15-ish, maybe top 12. So pretty damn good, which if you're doing $153 million of volume, 24-hour period, you're making a significant amount of fees. So definitely a sustainable app there. How are you guys feeling about the effect that it's having on the Starknet's load, on how is the chain handling it? How's the entire kind of process been from your perspective?
I think it's amazing. Like, ever since their migration to Starknet, to mainnet, the fact that also the network can handle this load, the fact that it's an on-chain perps DEX, the fact that it runs on Cairo smart contracts, like, this is just, it's beautiful, and it's a proof that the tech is truly there to work, and that scaling with Starks and scaling with validity proofs, like, truly is the way if you want to have this kind of DeFi applications. So in general, it's and also what you said, Robbie, in the beginning, like, it's they just surpassed their 50 million TVL goal earlier today. Like, they're #1 DeFi app right now on Starknet. So ever since their launch or migration to mainnet, they've just been killing it. The team is super serious, like super professional. Also ex Revolut, by the way. So yeah, I mean, in general, it's it's a killer app for Starknet.
Yeah, it seems like it. Do you feel like there's a path for this kind of singular perps exchange to become like the app for Starknet, like the like it just becomes like it almost just encapsulates the entire chain, or do you see like there actually being other kind of apps that are a part of Starktember really kind of like getting as much traction? Because like all I'm saying here is that this app has gotten a lot of traction, and it's really going to kind of like lead Starknet's success from here into like a different category of like actually kind of competing with some of the larger perp dexes, the hyperliquids, the lighters, which will put Starknet on the map in a big way. How do you feel about the other ecosystem apps in Starktember? What other apps are being highlighted? I'm just curious, like, what's going on there.
Yeah, I can say a bit about DeFi and Shadowfax on the gaming
Sure.
side, because Shadowfax is a big gaming nerd, so she knows a lot about what's up on gaming. On the DeFi aspect, so we have Extended as part of the Starktember campaign. So we have a competition live with them. There's also TrozFi, which is a yield aggregator. We also have, they've also had a record in TVL, right? So the Starktember campaign, it's rewarding users, but it's also bringing a lot of value to the actual apps and the teams who have a business behind those DeFi applications. So we're also rewarding those teams, and it's just beautiful how it's like everyone's playing this like it's playing along, and it's having just a good time, because you also see it in the culture and the memes. You also see it on Twitter, online, and how I see Extended playing on Starknet now. Just to finish off on the DeFi aspect, so it has the majority of the, like, it's #1 in terms of TVL. And what's also beautiful with Extended is that they have an API, so you can build with Extended your own DeFi app on Starknet. So you can tap into those perps contracts, right? For instance, you don't have to build your own Cairo perps contracts. You can just tap into that API, and maybe build like a delta neutral vault or something like that. And yeah, I mean, there's an API, so people can definitely build based on that, like that base architecture that Extended offers.
Yeah. Very cool. And maybe we can hear a bit about the other apps in the Starktember campaign and kind of what you guys are looking to achieve there, through the campaign and then after.
Absolutely. I mean, from the gaming perspective, we definitely also have some pretty cool stuff. Obviously, volume-wise, it doesn't quite reach extended, but maybe one day, we don't know. But for now, we have the cool thing is about the games, especially, is it's very versatile. So, for example, we have one game that's called Blob Arena, and they are the first fully on-chain game that is actually partnering with a real-world, like, I don't know if you guys know this, but AMMA, like it's an armored MMA league, and they've partnered with them, and they've like reskinned their game and turned it into like they've turned the Blobberts into the fighters and such. So we have like games that are connecting to real-world things. And then we also have games like, for example, Loot Survivor, who is launching very soon, which is like a dungeon crawler. And the team behind it has shipped many different things that aren't necessarily games, but more like frameworks. For example, like spinning up your own dungeons with the format of Loot Survivor and being able to plug in your own like design and brand and whatever it is. I think one of the like wins that we have in regard to gaming is also the whole like dojo stack and cartridge behind it all. It's making building on-chain games possible in that sense. And nowadays you do get a lot of games that are more Web 2.5, and on Starknet we do follow a very true fully on-chain gaming narrative. We're still early. Teams are shipping like crazy, and they're also building like crazy. So we have yet to see. But I mean, I may be biased, but I'm very bullish.
I have a question on generally how you're approaching the ecosystem, because a lot of L1s, L2s have started to they've started to try to pick winners, right? And kind of consolidate a lot of their resources around just a hand-selected few projects. And oftentimes that means that liquidity isn't spread out across different projects, and then they also consolidate their marketing resources and just continue to hammer a few projects and try to funnel all of the new acquisitions into the ecosystem into just kind of these cherry-picked apps. This is maybe a little bit less flourishing of the entire ecosystem, but it does center around just a few apps, and it could make the chance of success for those few quite a bit higher. So when you're thinking about picking winners, and again, you see the success of maybe one app, do you try to kind of focus on that one and double down, or how do you balance new apps coming into the ecosystem and try to maintain neutrality, but also make sure that the winners continue to flourish?
Yeah. So as an ecosystem team, if you send us a message on Telegram and you ask for help, like we will always respond. We're always going to create a shared group with the ecosystem lead. If we start seeing potential in the project, we start putting a lot more resources. And that's also the goal of the ecosystem team at StarkWare. It's to be that you're basically connecting teams, people to resources they might need. Do they need help with their Cairo contracts? Okay, we're going to connect them to A. Do they need help with marketing, with grants? We connect them with A, B, and C. So we're that first point of contact. And then those teams also it's also up to them to prove how serious they are and to which extent they want to be involved. But as an ecosystem team, you put a lot of resources into teams such as Extended, for instance, or Vezu, or Troves, or the gaming ecosystem, like Loot Survivor, because they have a proof of ship, right? They have to ship. We have to have some kind of material to understand to which extent we're going to commit resources to that team. And then based on that, we have internal discussions, and it's this path that you build with that team, right? But this ecosystem team, like me and Shadowfax and Akash and Rihan, we're 4 plus Odin Free, the ecosystem lead. We're always going to reply to your DMs on Discord, on Telegram, on the fact that if you want to be involved in Starknet and if you need help with building and shipping whatever you have to ship.
Yeah, and so when you guys are kind of trying to figure out what the further impact of this ecosystem marketing and ecosystem growth strategy is going to be as it relates to the tech, right? So you guys just had Starknet's Grinta upgrade on September 1st. What are some of the main features that you're expecting that will impact these ecosystem projects? How do you see the technical upgrades improving the actual applications in the ecosystem?
Huge boost for UX, right? Because the user gets instant feedback of their transaction status, right? UX just gets amplified. And I think many ecosystems nowadays also have pre-confirmation. So it's not something you need to Starknet, but it's in general for also the whole Ethereum ecosystem and other L1s that also integrated. In general, it's just a huge UX boost. And that was just shipped on September 1st. I think that's a killer feature or killer tooling for people who are building on Starknet. It's everything that's related to UX. We also have an open source and battle tested paymaster, so you can decide to sponsor your users' transactions or choose which tokens you want that user to use for gas fees, right? For instance, you have Avenue, which is a DEX aggregator, and you can choose to pay in the Lords token. And the Lords token is something specific to the gaming ecosystem, right? But I can use my Lords to pay for my swap on Avenue. So that's great tooling, right? And then the whole native account abstraction story, right? Just removing as many those annoying pop-ups that you usually see on MetaMask. So that's also a killer feature for new teams entering the ecosystem is, hey, we have great UX and great UX tooling that we can offer you. Here's documentation. Here's how you build with it. Here are some use cases. Here are some games that use it, and this is how they improve their gaming experience. And also, ever since we shipped pre-confirmations, we had a lot of good feedback. I think also from Loot Hero, from the Loot Survivor people, that with pre-confirmations, like they tap and the transaction is instant, right? So for bringing on-chain games to normal users, things just got a lot more easier.
Very cool. Very cool, guys. I think Starknet has often been kind of touted as one of the leaders in technical innovation. Obviously, the technology is built so that we can go and get adoption, and the applications that's kind of their job is to go out. We had Ruslan from Extended on a little while ago before some of the recent growth. We also had Focus Tree on, and that was another one that was like pretty interesting because it was starting to get real world adoption outside of this crypto Twitter echo chamber. I was just curious if you had any other updates regarding any of these apps that you could share. Just how is this growth going? Anything that is particularly exciting? Any updates or alpha that you can drop on some of the other ecosystem apps that you're most excited about?
I think for Focus Tree, so what's interesting with them is that now it's people use it to focus to study, and now like for the summer holidays, we had a drop in people using Focus Tree because people don't study during holidays, right? But now we start seeing a peak again, so that's beautiful. With it just indicates that, hey, it's not any Web3 degen that's using this; it's like an actual student at Harvard or something that is using the app. And so, I mean, I put a lot of trust in that team because they know how to ship. I put a lot of trust in Extended because they're ex-Revolut. They just prove that they can ship a quality product. And other games, I think Shadowfax can tell you a lot more about the games. And also combining gaming and finance and DeFi, we have some teams building on that aspect. Yeah, in general, yeah, I think in general, we just put a lot more support into those bigger teams that have shipped and have a history of shipping, but we also give a lot more support and we continue giving support to the smaller teams, but still have this proof of ship.
Yeah. So, Victor, is there a lot of focus around the Bitcoin aspect of the ecosystem now? Like, how do you guys feel about that? Are you guys more ETH or Bitcoin? Like, what is your personal take?
So
Both of you guys.
I mean, it depends because at StarkWare you have ETH people, you have BTC people, you have both. I don't know, Shadowfax. What side of the coin are you on?
I mean, I've like my first crypto job is this. So like I am tied to the Ethereum ecosystem for now. I am obviously also intrigued by Bitcoin, but I'm gonna have to choose ETH for now.
Awesome.
Okay.
What
But
about you, Victor?
Speaking of the, I'm BTC. I love
Okay,
ETH.
so good balance here.
Yeah, but I mean, I see the value that we can bring to BTC, and I'm super bullish on the roadmap that StarkWare has put on the table for this. And what we can highlight here is what we plan to do after StarkTember, which is Starknet's BTCfi. StarkTember is a campaign to kind of, it's the back to the trenches mentality, right? On-chain summer is over, it's back to the trenches, but there's something much bigger coming up. We cannot share a lot, right? We have to keep this superficial because no official announcement has been done, but the BTCfi on Starknet is coming.
So question for you guys, with the DeFi growth, with BTCfi, last thing here for you, obviously Mega ETH is not live yet, but Athena came out and made out this announcement that they're launching their own stablecoin native to their chain. A lot of L2s have like I'm calling it the token market fit problem right now, where it's like, there got to be some reason to like create a flywheel to get people interested in the Stark token. I'm curious, like from the perspective of like either launching your own stablecoin, creating revenue, this whole like kind of buybacks kind of meta that Hyperliquid and Pumped Up Fun and Athena are on. Like when it comes to creating a mechanism for the ecosystem to drive value to Stark the token, what are your broad thoughts on this? And if you don't want to comment too deeply, that's all right. I'm just curious how you guys are thinking about this.
In terms of utility, the Stark token has utility, right? Because we're soon rolling out the BTC staking update, where you will able to, like, we will add another economic security layer to Starknet, because you can stake ETH on Starknet now, but you can also soon stake BTC and receive rewards in STRK token. But that's just one of the options that we have. I think what the other projects do is very interesting. It's, in some aspects, it's also a marketing move. We've heard this narrative that your token is your marketing, yeah, I think we focus on. We prefer to focus on the apps and shipping the apps and shipping the roadmap and sticking to it. And the roadmap includes things which are related to the token, right? But all of that to say that the roadmap that we have right now is really exciting. What we have with BTCfi coming up next month is also really exciting. So we prefer to stick to those principles. And yeah.
Beautiful.
Our lawyers prefer us to stick to those principles too.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they really do.
Yes.
Guys, thank you for your time. Please get some rest. I know it's a European night. Kind of wish I was still out there, honestly, but back in the States here. Guys, thanks for your time. Look forward to the growth of Extended, the end of StarkTember, what you guys have coming next, Bitcoin Fi, and just kind of more growth in terms of total usage, TVL, etc. So thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
Ciao, ciao.